Just what shot shape would you hit into this horrible par 3 with water short right and water all up the left-hand side? Hey everyone, my name's James and welcome to Get Good at Golf. On this channel, we aim to help you try and get good at golf just one day at a time, and I like to play a draw with my irons and driver. I feel like that's suitable to my shot shape. I feel like I can play it more often. And if I start the ball out to the right, it should start coming back in like you can see here. That's 1 of 1 4 greens hit on this quite difficult par 3 at the Farms in Santa Fe, California, where we actually played just last week. Now, loads of people may say, you know what, James, you should be hitting a fade here. There's no way you should hit a draw. If your hands get too active, if you shut the face down, then you're going to have a watery grave. But look at the ball flight I've just hit there. It's never really been in danger. As long as I start the ball far enough right, then we should definitely not be looking at a watery grave or even anywhere near the water. The numbers on there, we've got a ball speed of 123, we've got a backspin of 4,000 and a carry of 185 on a hole that's measuring 202 yards, which is about right. You know a 6-iron is going to run out ever so slightly. If I try to play a fade here, guys, Chris is going to come and play some fades for you in a second. I don't think this is the shot here because a double cross wouldn't be the best. But let's look at the number differences here. So if I try and play a fade in here, first of all, I don't think I would get the distance, but so you can see that started left, it's fading back. That is landing short. It might just go and get front edge, but there's no way that ball's gone as far. It wasn't quite as good a strike. Ball speed was down, spin rate was up, and you see it only carried 160 yards. Let me go back to my favourite shape in that draw. Again, felt really good. You can see that coming back now, and that might finish close because it should go forward and left towards that hole. Go on, go on, go on. How close are we there? We've finished at just 13.8 feet to the hole. What would we make percentage on tour from that, Chris?
1 in 4.
1 in 4. So on a 200-yard par 3 with water all up the left-hand side, we can actually see here, I'll put on screen, you can see the 2 draws that I've hit that have finished in the heart of the green, and the fade that's finished just short right. The big thing is here, I've got my body alignment aiming right. I am aiming away from the danger, but just moving it back ever so slightly. So if I go again with the draw, again, oh, stop, stop! Don't prove me wrong, please! No! It's safe. That's pretty much, I'm not gonna lie, that's as bad as it could have got, because if I turned it over just ever so slightly more, then we would have been in danger. But you can see I'm turning it over pretty much very consistently. Guys, Chris is now going to give you a few drills to hit draws and fades. What shot would you hit into this elusive par 3 over in Santa Fe, California?
So guys, I'm going to be playing a fade now, and one big thing is when people talk about hitting a fade, they instantly think you lose distance. That is incorrect. So you've got to think it's all about what kind of dynamic loft you're putting on that golf ball, because what kind of dynamic loft you're putting on the club at impact will still allow you to get to that distance. You know, a lot of people say, well, if I'm fading it, it's going to have a lot more loft. Well, no, if we can return the same loft as when we do a draw, we're going to be able to hit those the same distance. I like to play a fade. That is a shot that I've played for a long time, but it's all about what you play on the day. How many times I see amateurs golfers come on and go, right, today I fancy a fade on there. I ain't hit a fade all day, but what I'll do is I'll hit a fade. Oh, I've hit that perfect. That's a great strike. Oh,
that happens so much.
That's super, but that's drop zone. That's you hitting a wedge from 90 yards over water. You put that one in and nobody wants to play golf ever again with you. So we've got to think that play to your shot. So if you've gone to a driving range in the morning, let's say you've gone, you always normally hit a fade, but on the driving range you're hitting a little bit of a draw. Play for the draw on the day. That's what they always used to say when I was on the European Tour with guys.
Sorry, I thought you were going to say when you were on the European Tour then.
No, definitely not. But when I was on there teaching guys, we'd always say, like, right, just play with what you've got on the day. If it is a different shape for that day, play with that and commit to it and set up for that. So if I want to play a fade in here, I'm going to, again, aim a little bit left, make sure the face is open to where I'm aiming, and then commit to that shot. Committed to that shot. Again, not the best strike, come across that a little bit short, which is the tendency that can happen. So like we've said, if we open up the difference too much, so if I have my face wide open and my stance too far left, that is what we're going to start to see. So we need to match that up better. Right, so sometimes what you can do is you can overdo that, so let's make sure that we match that up, commit to that shot. Again.
So what I'm finding here is that Chris is hitting good fades, but struggling to actually start the ball left enough because of the hazards there.
Yeah, and that's a perfect example. So for me there, we're not in real life. I don't like to lose golf balls, even on the simulator,
No.
it seems. So committing to that shot, and that's what I said just before that. Have I committed to that shot? Is that the shot I've been playing? Well, no, maybe on this one I'm going to go, right, you know what, I'm just going to aim pretty straight because I know I don't want to double cross it and pull it into the water. So let me now go straight at the target. Hit a normal shot, so a straight shot. You see instantly there, I'm not trying to work the ball, I've not done anything different, and that's had a much better result. Again, launch angle down at 14, 5,000 spin, carried 183, so a lot more consistent than when I was trying to play the fade. So we've got to think, guys, where is the trouble? What is going to cause us to not be able to commit to the shot? If it is the water, let's play for the safe side. The safe side is the right-hand side. Let's aim pretty straight and let's be able to commit to that shot. But we should be able to then hit more greens.
Look at this shot. That's a great shot.
You'll see there, much more fluid through the ball, much easier to hit, much more easy to release the club head and commit, because I don't feel like I'm holding it off and making sure that I don't hit that elusive double cross. But let's talk about a drill. How do you start to shot shape?
Because you are the drill master.
James is not happy that I am now the guy who provides the drills. So let's get onto the driving range. Let's start how to think, how to practice. So let's get some alignment sticks again. And we're going to show you what we want to do. So if we're shot shaping, guys, we need to think about where the club face is, where the swing path is, and where is our intended target. And we can do that nice and easy with 3 golf clubs or 3 alignment sticks.
So guys, just before the drill master does come in and give us all the drill to help us be able to work our shots better, one of the things that I always got taught, and something which for me, it's like Edward Scissorhands or Wolverine, that people taught me was never start the ball at trouble. So again, I'm just going to try and hit you one of each. So I'm going to try and start the ball left. And again, just because you're working the ball, just because you hit and draw a fade, doesn't mean it needs to be Bubba Watson-esque. It doesn't need to be a 70-yard raking draw or a slinging fade. You can actually just try and play a little feathering fade that falls down to one side. But this is going to try and be a fade from that left side. That's as good a swing as I can do. It should be fading back, but my heart's in my mouth the entire time. We've just gotten away with that. It felt like a good swing, felt like a good strike. Again there, we didn't try and have too much movement on that, whereas if I start this up the right side, the worst case scenario is I'll probably do this and just leave it out to the right a tiny bit, like that. And as you can see there, they have gone exactly the same distance. That is a prime example of 2 totally different ball flights finishing in exactly the same place. Now, it's what you've all been waiting for, the drill master.
So guys, a nice easy drill for you to set up here, and to give you a better understanding of how we're trying to shape the golf ball. We've got 3 alignment sticks down here. These could be 3 clubs, but you're going to use them to visualize what you're trying to do. So the white alignment stick is nice and easy. That is our target line, so that's where we are trying to get the ball to finish. The second line here, or the second alignment stick even, is where our face wants to be pointing. So it's right of our target, but it is closed to this third alignment stick, which is your path. So we're trying to get your path to work out to the right with the face slightly closed of that, but your face is actually open to your target line. To get the ball to start right, we need to be a little bit right of our target, and to get the ball to draw, it has to be closed to our path. So it's a good visual thing to have down there, guys. The same, or the opposite, not the same, the opposite for if we're trying to play that fade, that is how we want to set up. So if I'm trying to get my path a little bit out to the right, we're going to close our stance, close our shoulders a little bit. That's going to encourage our path to the right. We're then going to set the club face just right of our target, and from there we should be able to see the ball draw in the air, start right, and move back. Didn't move back enough, so that means I've got my path a little bit too far to the right and the face wasn't closed, but we can see by the ball flight it drew nicely, it did exactly what we wanted it to do. We might then, on the driving range, narrow those up a little bit so we're not going as much out to the right, and we then should be getting that ball back onto the target. This is potentially for you going to take out one side of the golf course, so it's going to get rid of the left-hand side. You might miss the ball on the right, so take that into account. If there is water on the right, you might need to be aware of that. We might aim a little bit straighter because we know then, right, if it does move left, that's the best place to miss. But give that a go, guys. On the range, flip it over to play a fade, and then for neutral, nice and easy, we're trying to get the elusive 0 face and 0 path. But let's try and shape the ball. We then can get a better understanding of how to find neutral, and we're going to help you get good at golf.
I'm guessing that if you asked 100 golfers what the club face needs to do to hit a draw, they would not say open to target.
No, and that's what we find a lot. If you get that club face, which most people do, and 99%, just like James said, on target, they would put the club face pointing at the target, aim right. All we're going to see all day, unfortunately, is
Aqua ball.
a drop kick and the elusive duck hook, even with an iron. So guys, make sure you get that down, get that visual, start to understand what you're trying to do with the club face. On holes, you need to think about where the best place to miss is so you can get good at golf. And we will see you again at the same time tomorrow.